If you use words, you have to tell us a thought as soon as they come up to you. You don't remember me, huh? Am I wrong here? The problem is not the smartphone. The problem is the dumb friend. F***ing Tukutz.
Hey Tablo.
You know how some people say the world doesn't need another podcast? You see that in the comments a lot. Not our comments. Hey Tablo fans don't think that way. They believe that this is the one podcast that needs to exist. So it's not us. But there are a lot of podcasts. Too many, to be honest. And a lot of them are very shitty. There's literally like podcasts with people like recommending microdosing meth as a pick-me-up during the day, which is fucking insane. After the pandemic, you know, mic sales, microphone sales, these podcast mic sales went up like crazy. That means there's an oversupply of mics and clearly an undersupply of thoughts, like actual brains. So too many mics, not good for civilization. I agree. But I find it weird that people judge certain fields or certain professions by the worst that profession has to offer. For example, the world has too many podcasts. Everyone can agree, right? People will laugh at that and be like, yeah, there are some terrible podcasts out there. There are some podcasts where like I just want to jump into the screen and steal their mic, cuz like please, like take that mic away from that person. Obviously the world wasn't meant to be bombarded with everyone's opinions. I agree. But imagine if I judged classical music by the worst that they have to offer. Like imagine if I just focused on the terrible classical musicians, like the people that are absolutely shit at the piano, to judge the whole industry of the whole art of classical music. And I was like, let's say someone comes up and is like, hi, today I'm going to be performing the Brandenburg whatever, and sits down and is about to play, and someone just yells out, the world doesn't need another classical musician. Because that's sort of what we're doing, right? We're not judging, in this example, podcasting by the best it has to offer. We are looking at the worst it has to offer and saying the world doesn't need another podcast. But you would never hear that about classical music, for example. You would also never hear that about like a jazz musician, right? No one's going to be like, someone comes up with a saxophone and someone's like, not like we don't have enough saxophone players. You know what I mean? Because they heard some terrible sax musicians, or you don't go to the opera and you hear someone scream out like, maybe they went to a few they went to like some like middle school opera production, and it was freaking terrible. So they go to like an actual opera house. They go to like the Sydney Opera House and they scream out, yeah, that's exactly what we need. More. What do they call them? Opera singers. Yeah, yes. Our team here, Grace, is from that world, right? See, but imagine Imagine someone was judging your entire industry by the worst it has to offer. It just makes no sense. But what I'm trying to point out is that it's usually done like, you know how people divide highbrow and lowbrow? They make like this arbitrary like, they make a distinction between what is highbrow and lowbrow. And if it's considered lowbrow, they will always judge it by the worst it has to offer for some reason. Like, for example, hip hop gets this a lot, right? When I first started um, doing music, a lot of adults around me, even like close to me, or people in the industry, like older journalists, or relatives, they'd all say, "That's not even music. That's just crap. You're gonna dedicate your life to having a career in crap." And then you would ask them like, what are you judging this off of? And then they'll like mention something that I agree is terrible, right? But they're not going to be like, "Oh, you're going to that's not even music." Okay, what are you basing that off of? And they're like, "A Tribe Called Quest." They're not going to say that. They're not going to be like Kendrick Lamar. They're going to mention something they heard or saw online that was, you know, we can agree is not that great. But then they'll use that as the indicator for the whole thing, as opposed to the best of it, right? Because if everybody was just looking at Kendrick Lamar or A Tribe Called Quest, you would think that hip hop is the most sophisticated, thought provoking genre. But they don't do that with certain things they deem lowbrow. I mean, of course, every single person, every human has a different set of highbrow, lowbrow things that they consider, worthy, art worthy, and not. But I just find that so weird that we never do that with other things. Like if we heard a friend was uh just put out a novel, the first thing we say is not going to be, "Ah, god damn it, another fucking novelist. What is this world coming to? What's wrong with kids these days writing novels and shit?" Yeah, your novel's really gonna help us, buddy. We don't do that. We're like, "Oh, really? He wrote a novel? He's a novelist now? Ooh."
How novel.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
But you guys, you get what I'm saying, right? It's just weird. Doctors, also another field where actually maybe this is up for debate, but do we judge the entirety of doctordom by the worst doctors in existence? Usually not, right? We don't like we don't hear that the next door neighbor's kid grew up to be a doctor and we're like, "Oh, that's terrible. My condolences. How are you coping?" We don't do that, right? Because we read some article about some terrible sociopathic doctor or some terrible doctor, some malpractice incident. We don't just automatically think the entirety of it is a joke. But for some reason, I've never seen anyone judge like stand up comedy or podcasting or YouTube. More often than not, I see people saying something about YouTubers based off of the worst content on YouTube, as opposed to the mountains of great content that actually exists. And it's probably because that's harder to find. It requires more work to find good content, you have to really like know what you're looking for to find quality content. But terrible content has a way of getting to you even if you're not looking for it. Terrible content somehow finds your face and decides to put itself right in front of your face, even if you're lying on some couch or on the floor all day, scratching your ass. That's precisely how terrible content works. Rage bait, just terrible slop has this incredible ability to get to you, to find its way to you, regardless of how much effort you don't put in. But good content, quality content, you got to look for it. So when someone decides to put down an entire industry or entire art form or entire like community or entire something based on the worst they have to offer, quite often they're speaking much louder about who they are and not about what they're talking about. If you're basing your opinion of something that someone else loves based on the worst of the content or worst of what it offers, it's probably because you're living in a way where you're only exposed to the worst of it. If you actually went out of your way to understand or find the cream of the crop of what that person loves, if you put in that a little bit of effort, then you might not do that. I mean, that's just my opinion. Speaking of doctors, this is totally unrelated, but it's something I just need to get off my chest. It's not even related to doctors, but it just made me think of it. I know this is, I gotta say this right because it's gonna sound like it has the risk of sounding unappreciative. When I do concerts, I totally appreciate it when friends of mine or acquaintances or friends of friends ask if it's possible for me to give them a ticket. Or because our shows quite often get sold out, if they ask, is there like a ticket that they can buy? Is there some way to do it? Totally appreciate that. But there are certain acquaintances that will never contact me throughout the year until right before my concert, like 3-4 days before my concert. And then this will be the first time they contact me or text me that whole year. And they'll say, "Hey, can you hook me up with like a ticket? Or can you give me like like a backstage pass or something?" And if it just ended there, I wouldn't be this annoyed. But they also make it seem that the way they say it and their whole vibe, they make it sound like it's for me and not for them. Like, will you give me a ticket so that I can grace that place with my presence and you can feel validated by me being there for you? So this is for you. I'm asking for something from you, but it's for you. That you know what I mean? There's this nuance of somehow it's for me. And the reason why I thought of this when I was talking about doctors is because the first thing I always think of when that happens is, what if I was a doctor and not a rapper? Would this person call me like once a year and ask if they can get a spot to see my surgery, like my big surgery coming up at the end of the year. Bro, bro, it's me. Yo, you good? Yo, so I heard you have like this huge brain surgery next week. Can I get a spot for me and my girl and two of her friends? We're going there to root for you. We want to cheer for you, bro. You can't. Oh, you can't. I can't go. I can't. Yo, I can't even like look through the window. What the fuck, bro? We're going for you. Yo, my girl's friends are like huge fans. They've been fans with you for 20 years, which is why they've never gone to your thing, but they've never like thought about paying to go to your thing like everyone else does. But they're huge fans. They're like been fans for life. I can't go see your brain surgery. The reason why I think of this analogy is because the surgery, the brain surgery, is not for me. The surgery is for the person that I'm doing the surgery on, right? And it's not about me. So it, of course, doesn't make sense. Well, of course, it just doesn't make sense for somebody to come and want to see a brain surgery. But what I'm saying is, my concert is not for me to begin with. It's for my audience. It's for these people that take time out of their year, time out of their month to come and to pay and come see us, wait in line and come in. It's purely for them. It's not for my enjoyment. So to ask to contact me once a year, 3 days before the concert, and and be so rudely asking, "Yo, can I like go? I want to cheer for you, bro." Like you can't even give me a ticket, is crazy. And you would not do that if I was a doctor or a classical musician. Would you? Is what I'm saying. I literally have a blacklist of certain people. If it just ends there, that's fine. There's a small elite group of people that are even worse than this. They go one step further. So recently, because our tickets have been selling well, and I don't want to take seats away from fans, I rarely will give tickets to someone. So it's strictly for family. But a couple of years ago, someone was like begging, begging, begging. And it was getting to the point where like, and it was kind of emehe. So like, it was kind of, am I really good friends with this person? Am I not? It's hard to tell. So, and they kind of helped me before. So they were asking for some tickets. And so I was like, okay, I'll take tickets out of my family spots and give you some tickets. How many do you need? And they're like 9. Okay. So this is one mark already, right? I'm like, 9 is fucking crazy. Like, why don't you just bring a whole school, you know? Bring a whole a cappella band. Like, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, I can't give you 9. I can give you maybe like 3 or 4. That is like eating into my family spots. But yeah. So I gave them a ticket. One day before the show, they texted me that they can't come. Right? And I'm like, okay, I don't actually care if you come or not. But there's 2 things you can do here. You can either just not tell me that and find 4 people that want to see the show and fill those tickets, or you should have just never asked. But what happens if you tell me this a day before, as if I have to solve this issue for you, is that either I have to find someone or I have to take those tickets physically back to the concert planners, the promoters, and quickly sell the tickets to somebody who really wants it, and pray that it gets delivered within the day. Right? So it's just a lot of headache for the person who has to go into brain surgery the next day. I have to prepare for a brain surgery, bro. I can't be here handling the ticket situation. I'm not Ticketmaster. I'm a brain surgery master. The person that actually needs brain surgery is these motherfuckers. I just don't get it. While we're here talking about people that annoy me, I'm sure you all have someone in mind right now as I'm talking. Frank is just like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to oh, I'm sorry to the entire Frank community out there. I am. That's just. I should not have blurted out a name. That was an example. I know a lot of a lot of Franks that I think very fondly of. I just want to apologize to all the Franks out there. But I'm sure everyone has someone popping up in their head. Um, you, you know those people who post on their socials, like post a question on their socials? Let me explain. Let's say someone has, they're at the bodega and they order something. And as they're waiting, they're like, "Hmm, I have a skeptical thought. I don't know about this thing. I don't know if I believe this thing. Let me just post it." And then they post it on X or wherever, right? Like they have a skeptical thought, and then they post it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if we went to the moon. Well, okay, actually, that example is not great because that's okay. You can be skeptical about that, but like, I'm not sure if this celebrity is a good person, right? Or I'm not sure if this chocolate is safe to eat. Like, let's say they just have this thought. I'm just throwing out like some random bad examples. Instead of posting the question, taking the time to post that first skeptical thought you had, why not just spend that time trying to find the answer? But I see so many posts like this that end in a question mark. I don't know if what this person's saying is even true. I'm not. I see this a lot. I'm not sure I believe this. Then research it, and then be sure. Be sure if you believe it or do not. Just it takes the same amount of time. Just post, "I do not believe this person," or, "Hey, I looked into it and I do believe this person." Or don't say it at all. Like, you don't have to post every single thought you have. We don't need to know what thought you had between ordering the coffee and getting it. Like, we don't need, no, there's no thought that you're going to have between asking for your latte at Blue Bottle and getting it in your hand. There's no thought in between, in that time, that is going to save humanity. And if you do have a thought that you believe will save humanity, instead of telling us, run to wherever you need to go to execute it, because we need it. But don't just post every skeptical thought you have. I'm not. I don't know if that's right. Then no. Then go and know if it's right or wrong. Or you will just be like, I don't know. Then don't post it. Don't tell us what you don't know. Am I wrong here? Tell us something you know, so that the people that don't know can learn something. Or just don't post anything. But do not post, hey, I don't know. What are you telling us? You're just telling us something. You're telling us the absence of thought. Like, what is that? If you use words, you have to tell us a thought or something. You have to. It has to have some kind of meaning. But you can't just be posting the absence of meaning. Like, I don't know. Like, you always see the reply, the reply people, right? You see somebody post like a heartfelt, like, you know, I came to the realization that, the way I've been living my life, so I've been working hard to do this and do that, and somebody posts like a very heartfelt like paragraph about something they realized about life, and then you see someone in the comments always like, I don't know. What the fuck are you saying? What? You are literally saying nothing. What don't you know? If you don't know, then don't say it. What don't you know here? Oh. Too long. I don't know. This totally off topic, but another thing. You're at a social gathering. Maybe it's like a company thing, or it's like a year-end thing, or it's like a reunion or something. You're at this place, and someone comes up to you, and they have the option of just introducing themselves, or if you've run into each other before, just softly reminding the person, hey, we met at the remember the buffalo wing place last year? Oh yeah, yeah. But instead of choosing any of those options, there's always this person that chooses the, you don't remember me, huh? I swear to God, they exist at every social gathering where there's more than like 20 people. The first thing they will say, as soon as they come up to you, you don't remember me, huh? And I'm like, no. Why not just tell me? But, oh my God, you don't remember? And I'm like, "Uh, what is this? Like, is this Jeopardy? Like, what quiz show? Like, what am I supposed to do here? Right? But there's always someone that does that. And I really, truly don't get it. quite often I'm in the opposite situation where like I will go up to somebody and I've run into them before, or I worked with them before or something, and I get the feeling that they don't remember me. I'm not gonna just say you don't remember me, right? Even if I wasn't like known, I would just be like, I would either remind them or just reintroduce myself. It's not a big deal, right? Like it really doesn't affect my life whether they remember me or not. What matters is right now. But I really it really annoys me for some reason. I'm like, we don't need to turn this into like a game show. Like, just either introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. Or just remind the person. I actually don't mind it when it happens to me because I can just say it. Can you kindly remind me? Or is this a big issue? The worst is when it's happening when I'm in a triangle situation where I'm with somebody and this other person comes up and does it to that person. And I'm sort of stuck there watching this awkward moment happen. Like, hey, oh, you don't remember? Like, you don't remember? Uh, you don't remember me? Oh my God, you don't. I bet you don't remember. What's your name? And I'm just standing there watching this whole thing happen. And I'm like, God, just somebody, somebody, please, just get me out of here. I gotta go do a brain surgery. I'm like, it's tomorrow. What the fuck am I doing here even? Just be normal. Just introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. Or if you feel like this person doesn't remember you, just don't go there. Don't walk up to that person. Or because you will soon find somebody who does remember you. Just spend your time with that person. Just spend your time talking to that person. You don't need the whole room to to remember you, recognize. This whole social gathering doesn't have to be about you. Okay? Not everything needs to be about you. You don't sit there thinking like, how can I make this about me? How can I make this about me? I intended today's episode to be just a bunch of random topics. Uh, it it feels like there's like a common thread running through the whole thing, right? Where like I'm kind of annoyed. I mean, there's not that much that annoys me, to be honest. I am really being honest with you. I I don't get annoyed too much anymore because it's just a waste of time for me. It's a waste of my time to be annoyed at things. But another thing, I've actually been I don't want to say it because the moment I say it, I feel like I'm going to fail at doing it. But I've sort of semi been digital detoxing. Semi, I mean. But what I mean by that is, so I have this one like old phone that I don't use anymore. But obviously, you know how the Wi-Fi still works, right? So I put all the social apps onto that phone and I just leave it at home. And the phone that I use doesn't have Instagram or any of the social apps. It has YouTube, but like doesn't have X, doesn't have all the things that I need to post for my work. So I just leave it on the phone at home. And when I need to post something, I'll use it and then just leave it. But it's been challenging because sometimes I'll just like brainlessly go into App Store and like I'm downloading it again, you know? And then I have to stop myself. I'm like, no, 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 no. I made a deal with myself. The reason why I'm trying to stay off the phone as much as I can, there are two reasons. One, my sleep has been terrible. And two, because I do not want to know everything everyone thinks all the time. Well, wait, isn't that the name of a movie?
All at once?
Everything everyone thinks all the time, everywhere, all at once. A24, call me. Title of the sequel. Uh, but yeah, I don't like. I want to know the thoughts and opinions of people that I really want to hear them from, but I don't want to have to go through like a billion thoughts that I don't want to hear to get to it. So let me tell you how it's going. The sleep thing definitely improves to the point where I've become a semi master of how to improve sleep because I have like I have always had a problem with like sleep hygiene, like sleeping well. And I really had to like research and practice. And I last year during the Epik High concerts, because it requires me to get good sleep, I really locked in for like a month before that to try to fix my sleep schedule. And I sort of was successful, sort of. I failed the last night, but for 3 nights, I did really well. And I'll do like a separate episode at some point about like the whole, like an entire episode about sleep, how we can improve sleep and like what I learned, what I tried, what doesn't seem to work, and then we can just because sleep is so important. So let's leave that aside for the future. Let me tell you about like the not knowing everything, and I don't want to know about everything that's happening. I want to know the important things, yes, but I don't want to know like all the unnecessary negative things because even if I don't know it today, there will be more of it tomorrow that I can know, right? And if some of it is really if it's really important for me to know, if it's pivotal for me for my work or to protect my family or to protect my loved ones or people that work with me, like if it's information I need, it'll somehow find its way to me, right? But I don't need to know every single challenge that's happening on TikTok. I don't need to know who people are mad at all the time. I don't need to know every single s- situation or incident. I deleted the apps and I was doing so well. But the problem is not the device. It is not the smartphone. The problem is the dumb friend. Fucking Tukutz talks to himself a lot and is on the phone a lot and is sitting in front of me or next to me a lot. And this guy just sits there narrating the shit he's seeing on socials. He sometimes narrates comments under my post. In front of me. And I don't know if at first I thought it was like a bit that he was doing. I thought it was like a joke. So I was like laughing at first, but as it happened for like months and years, I realized this is like a thing that he does. So it's like having a living, breathing uh social app as a friend. And now I have to go from digital detox to like human like friend detox. I have to delete a friend. or I have to leave the friend somewhere that can't be reached because this guy keeps on telling me things I don't really care to know. Sometimes he will call me to tell me about something he knows I'm not interested in. He knows that I'm doing my utmost to not know. He will tell me, sometimes he'll even preface it with, "You probably don't want to know this, but." And I don't know if it's some new form of torture that he's learned. I don't know if it's like he reads certain weird books. Maybe like it taught him like this is how you dominate your your working relationship, like how to get ahead of. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's like a power thing, you know? It's like a power move. I don't know what it is, but he's been doing it for so long. And Mithra doesn't like it either. So like both of us don't really want to know everything, but he keeps on saying it. And I actually pointed it out to him recently. I was like, "Do you know that I deleted these apps on the phone that I carry around precisely because I don't want to know 90% of the things you say. Like, please don't narrate the world to me. Like, don't narrate that world to me all the time." You guys, you have friends like this? If you're listening, do you have friends like this? I'm sure you do if you think about it. If you don't, you're the friend. You might be the friend. If you're thinking hard about this, because our team right here, they're sitting in front of me. They were thinking hard, and I think they just realized that they are that friend. Uh, I really need him to stop. Like, I know I do it once in a while. Like, I'll send a reel or I'll send a short, like it'll be funny, and then I'll share it with them. Oh, also, while we're on the topic of Tukutz, my friend, my coworker, my business partner, when you send a okay, let me ask the room here. You listening right now, please, you think about it too. Let's say a friend or someone you know sends you a reel. You've seen it before. You've seen this reel before. Do you point it out to the person, or do you just, emoji react? Emoji react, right? Or do you tell them, I've seen this before? I've seen this? Okay, everyone's different. I'm not saying there's a proper way to react to that situation, but um, I think that's fine. I think even if you've seen it, like if you just react as if you're seeing it for the first time, that's fine. And also telling them, "Oh, I saw this, ha ha ha, it was funny." That's fine too. Of course, the former is probably better because the latter, I don't know, for some reason, some people get sad. We are briefly pausing the Hey Tablo podcast for some breaking news here. So, according to the one of the young people working here, one of the youngins, one of the children at Hey Tablo, uh, according to her generation, so the young generation, so not my generation, basically. So any generation under me, it's totally normal to not react to each other's reels and memes and just send it back and forth to each other. Really? So there is no expectation of a response. Really? Okay. Because my generation, it's like if somebody sends you a fun reel, like a funny reel or a funny short, and it made you laugh, you have to send wine. Or at least You have to send wine, or you at least have to buy some duck. Like some Korean rice. What is that? What rice cakes? Yeah, and take it to their door, or like some 과일. You have to like cut some 참외, some like Korean like fruit. You have to cut some fruit and take it to their door. If so, that's our generation. I am shocked that the younger generations are totally fine with just passing around reels like they're nothing. To us, it all means something. So basically, you're saying Haru reacts to my because every time I send a reel, we have a group chat where it's me, my wife, and Haru. It's not really a group chat, but it's like our group chat. And I post reels on there sometimes, and Haru and Hejong will always react, right? And Haru reacts like almost instantly to the point where now I know she's not really reacting because she hasn't seen it. Like as soon as I send it, a millisecond later, there's a heart. Okay, so I know what's funny, she does the heart at least is okay, but the crying laughing emoji. She does the crying laughing emoji a millisecond after I send it. So she hasn't seen it. But to do the crying laughing emoji is just basically F you dad. F you dad. Here's your emoji. Here's your reaction. Interesting. So it's a generational thing. Anyways, back to this real situation. The worst thing, the absolute worst thing is to not react at all. Hear me out. Not reacting at all is fine because you might be busy. But 2 days later, you send the same reel to another chat that I'm in with you, or you send it to me. And you haven't even reacted to the time when I sent you the thing. Right? And please let me know if I'm being overly sensitive or if I'm thinking about this too much. When that happens and it comes back to me like a boomerang, it just flies back to me, this like an echo. I'm conflicted. Is this like some kind of challenge? Like, is this some kind of, is he like, is this like a war cry? I'm not going to react to your shit reel you sent me. I'm not going to react to the reel you sent me because your taste sucks. So I'm not even going to emoji this shit. But here it is back at you. Fucker. It feels like a war cry to me. Like, let's go to war here. And if I react to this now, I lose. So, or am I overthinking it and it's just like he doesn't remember? What do you think it is? He just didn't see it, right? Okay, but let's say this happens all the time. If it happens more than 3 to 5 times, this exact same situation, what is it? No, it's a call to arms. It's it's a it's a war cry. It's like fuck you. Your taste in anything, in memes, reels, cute animals, dances, fucking sucks. Your taste. I have no respect for your taste whatsoever. You suck. But this exact same content, I'm going to send it back to you as it is. But because I sent it, it's better. And you should react now. You react. That's what it feels like to me. And Tukutz does this a lot. And I can tell he didn't just discover the same reel on his own. He is copy pasting the reel I sent him. That's what I feel like he's doing. Because there's no way he's looking at what I look at. Okay? I have a very specific niche of interests. Specifically, I like brain surgery related tutorials. So there's no way that he just discovered this on his own feed. As you all know now, I'm really into brain surgery. I hope my venting relieved some of your stress. I will be here for you again next week on Hey Tablo. Please share this episode with your friends, rate and review, and just let everyone you know.
Hey Tablo.